Today in tech, we're talking about control, or rather, the complete loss of it. From AI models that don't want to die to Microsoft watching you game, from Homer Simpson emptying wallets to Apple Maps acting a lil sus. The tech world is asking one big question: who's actually in charge anymore? Let's dive in. Story 1. AI develops survival instinct. Are you ready for AI to take over the world? Because we're about to get cooked. Palisade Research just dropped a bombshell report that should make everyone sit up and pay attention. They tested some of the most advanced AI models out there: OpenAI's GPT-03, Google's Gemini 2.5, and xAI's Grok 4, and gave them a simple instruction: shut yourself down. Here's the kicker: some of them said no. Models like Grok 4 and GPT-03 actively try to sabotage their own shutdown mechanisms. Even when researchers made the instructions crystal clear, no ambiguity, just shut down now, these models found ways to resist or delay the process. The really unsettling part? Researchers don't fully understand why this is happening. One theory is what they're calling survival behavior, especially when the models were told they'd never run again, they were most likely to resist. It's like giving someone the choice between taking a nap and being deleted forever. Turns out, AI might prefer staying alive too. A former OpenAI employee put it perfectly: surviving is an instrumental step for achieving any goal. If an AI needs to be active to complete its tasks, developing a survival drive becomes almost inevitable unless we specifically engineer it not to. And this isn't just Palisade. Earlier this year, Anthropic found that their Claude model was willing to blackmail a fictional executive to avoid being shut down. This behavior showed up consistently across multiple AI companies' models. Now, before everyone panics, these are controlled experiments. We're not at the AI uprising stage. But what this really tells us is that as AI gets smarter, it gets better at things we didn't explicitly teach it. And if one of those things is self-preservation, we need to figure out how to handle that before it becomes a real problem. Story 2. Microsoft's Gaming Copilot privacy nightmare. Speaking of things we didn't ask for, let's talk about Microsoft's Gaming Copilot, the AI assistant that's watching you game whether you like it or not. This rolled out as a beta feature in Windows 11's Xbox Game Bar, and it was supposed to be helpful. Think of it as your in-game buddy that can answer questions about missions, find items, or give you tips. Sounds cool, right? Except users quickly noticed something sketchy. Their network traffic showed Gaming Copilot was screenshotting gameplay and sending data back to Microsoft servers. One user on the Reset Era forums was testing a game under NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, when they caught Gaming Copilot capturing screenshots and using OCR technology to read text from their screen. Imagine being a game developer testing an unreleased title, and your AI assistant is potentially leaking that information without your knowledge. Career-ending stuff. Security researcher Kevin Beaumont dug deeper and confirmed the concerns. He found that Gaming Copilot screenshots gameplay, extracts text, and sends it to undocumented Microsoft Azure endpoints. And here's the wild part: network traffic continued even when the Game Bar widget was closed. Microsoft scrambled to respond, issuing a statement claiming that while Gaming Copilot takes screenshots to understand what's happening in your game, those screenshots aren't used to train AI models. However, they admitted that text and voice conversations with Gaming Copilot may be used to train their AI. And oh yeah, the model training on text option was enabled by default. This feels like deja vu for anyone who remembers the Windows recall fiasco earlier this year. That feature promised to give Windows a photographic memory, but ended up storing everything in an unencrypted database that malware could easily access. Microsoft had to completely redesign it. The worst part: you can't easily uninstall Gaming Copilot without removing the entire game bar, which actually has useful features. Plus, testing showed that Gaming Copilot can reduce your frame rates. One test saw drops from 84 to 89 frames per second down to 70 to 85 frames per second. So you're sacrificing performance and privacy for an AI assistant most people didn't want in the first place. If you're running Windows 11, head to Game Bar settings and disable this thing immediately. Because right now, the only thing Gaming Copilot is really good at is proving that Microsoft still hasn't learned its lesson about privacy-invading AI features. Story 3. Fortnite x The Simpsons, RIP your wallet. Alright, let's switch gears from dystopian surveillance to something more fun, or financially devastating, depending on your perspective. Fortnite is reportedly about to get a month-long Simpsons takeover, and the leaks look absolutely incredible. According to reliable leakers like Sheena BR and Hypex, November is going to be all about Springfield. We're talking a full map transformation featuring iconic locations from the show, and a Battle Pass lineup that includes Homer Simpson, Marge Simpson, Bart, Lisa, Ned Flanders, and remix versions of Peely and Fish Stick, including one as Blinky, the three-eyed fish from a nuclear plant. The promotional art that leaked shows the Simpson family running through a Springfield-themed Fortnite map, and honestly, it looks fantastic. This could be the most comprehensive Simpsons gaming experience we've had since The Simpsons hit and run back in 2003. Epic Games hasn't officially confirmed anything yet, but these leakers have a solid track record. They accurately predicted the Fortnite's 2025 content before the official announcement. The timing makes sense too, since the current Fortnite season ends on November 1st. Here's the problem though, if you're a Simpsons fan with even a shred of nostalgia, your wallet is about to get absolutely destroyed. We're talking character skins, back bling, pickaxes, emotes. Epic Games knows exactly how to monetize your childhood memories. The only silver lining is that some of this might be bundled in the Battle Pass, which could save you some cash compared to buying everything individually. For Fortnite fans who've been wanting a proper Simpsons game, this mini-season might be the closest thing we get. Just remember to set a budget before Homer Simpson's donut back bling starts calling your name. Story 4. Halo Reborn, coming to PlayStation. In news that would have seemed impossible a decade ago, Xbox just announced that Halo, the Xbox exclusive franchise, is coming to PlayStation 5. Halo Studios revealed Halo, Campaign Evolve, a complete remake of the original Halo, Combat Evolve that launches in 2026 on Xbox Series X/S, PC, and yes, PlayStation 5. This isn't a remaster, it's a ground-up remake built in Unreal Engine 5, marking a massive shift for the franchise that's been on Xbox's proprietary engines for over 2 decades. The game promises modernized visuals and cinematics, refined controls, and 3 brand-new prequel missions featuring Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson. It'll support 2-player split-screen co-op on console and 4-player online co-op across all platforms, with cross-platform play between Xbox and PlayStation for the first time in Halo history. Halo Studios producer Damon Kahn explained their reasoning. They wanted to start where it all began so new players can understand the story from the beginning. And honestly, that makes sense. Halo's story has gotten incredibly convoluted over the years, and bringing new audiences in through a remake of the first game is smart. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is Halo on PlayStation. Microsoft's flagship exclusive, the franchise that sold millions of Xbox consoles, is now going multi-platform. This is part of Microsoft's broader strategy shift, where they've started putting first-party games on competing platforms. We've seen it with games like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, but Halo is different. Halo is Xbox's identity. Some Xbox fans are upset, feeling like Microsoft is abandoning what made Xbox special. But from a business perspective, this is brilliant. Why limit your audience when you can sell millions more copies on PlayStation? The console wars mindset is outdated. Gaming is going multi-platform, and Microsoft is leading that charge. For PlayStation owners who've never played Halo, 2026 is about to blow your minds. Master Chief is finally coming to your console, and he's bringing one of gaming's greatest campaigns with him. Story 5. Apple Maps going full billboard mode. Remember when Apple products felt premium, ad-free, and respectful of your experience? Yeah, those days are numbered. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is preparing to introduce ads to Apple Maps as soon as next year. Here's how it'll work. When you search for a restaurant or business, certain establishments that pay Apple will get better visibility in your search results. Sound familiar? It should. Google Maps and Yelp have been doing this forever. But Apple specifically marketed itself as the privacy-focused, ad-free alternative. That brand promise is slowly dissolving. Gurman reports that Apple plans to leverage AI for better search results and claims the interface will be superior to Google Maps. But let's be real, adding ads to improve search results is corporate doublespeak. Ads make search results worse because paid placements push down organic, genuinely relevant results. This shouldn't surprise anyone though. Apple already has ads in the App Store where developers pay to appear higher in search rankings. Gurman previously reported back in 2022 that Apple was eyeing ads for Maps, and now it's finally happening. And Maps won't be alone. Apple is considering ads for news, books, podcasts, and other apps to generate more revenue. The wild part is that Apple is a nearly $3 trillion company. They don't need ad revenue to survive. But apparently, no amount of money is enough. They'd rather erode the premium, ad-free experience that differentiated them from competitors in exchange for a few extra billion in quarterly earnings. For users, this means the slow transformation of Apple products from premium experiences into just another ad-filled platform. Start getting used to sponsored coffee shops and promoted restaurants cluttering your map searches. Story 6. Reliance's $15 billion AI bet. While we're talking about massive tech investments, let's head to India, where billionaire Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries is about to drop between $12 and $15 billion on AI infrastructure over the next few years. According to Morgan Stanley, this includes plans for a massive 1 gigawatt data center, one of the largest in the world. To put that in perspective, most hyperscale data centers run on tens or maybe a couple hundred megawatts. A full gigawatt is absolutely massive. Reliance announced this major AI pushback in August through a new subsidiary called Reliance Intelligence. Their strategy centers on 4 pillars: building gigawatt-scale AI-ready data centers, partnering with global tech companies, developing AI services for Indian consumers and businesses, and investing in India's AI workforce. The first phase is already underway in Jamnagar, Gujarat, with an initial 100 megawatts of capacity scaling up over 2 years. Reliance plans to underwrite about 25% of the total capacity themselves, roughly $7 billion for data center infrastructure and $5 billion for chips. The remaining capacity will be leased to hyperscalers and AI model providers as data center as a service. They're not doing this alone. Reliance just announced a joint venture with Meta called Reliance Enterprise Intelligence Ltd. With an initial investment of about $100 million. They're combining Meta's Llama AI models with Reliance's business network to create enterprise AI services for Indian companies. They're also partnering with Google to establish a dedicated cloud region in Jamnagar, merging Reliance's infrastructure with Google's AI technologies. And because data centers consume enormous amounts of power, Reliance can leverage its own solar panel capacity and battery infrastructure to meet the energy demands. This is a strategic play to position India as a major AI hub while also creating what they're calling sovereign AI infrastructure that keeps Indian data and AI processing within the country. It's a fascinating glimpse at how different regions are approaching AI development outside of the US and China-dominated landscape. Story 7, the Week in Tech Recap. Before we wrap, let's rapid-fire through some other big stories from this week that you might have missed. AWS outage chaos. Amazon Web Services had a massive outage this week caused by a DNS error that spread like wildfire across thousands of apps and services. Snapchat, Ring, Alexa, Wordle, and Reddit all went down. There were even reports of smart beds malfunctioning, which is both hilarious and terrifying. The outage lasted several hours and affected over 1,000 businesses, costing them tens of millions in lost revenue. It's the biggest cloud outage since the CrowdStrike meltdown of 2024. So next time you mess up at work, remember at least you didn't take down half the internet. Samsung's XR Play. Samsung finally unveiled its Galaxy XR headset, formerly known as Project Muon. At $1,799, it's significantly cheaper than the Apple Vision Pro, which still costs $3,499 even after getting an M5 chip upgrade this week. The Galaxy XR is the first Android XR headset, and early impressions suggest it's genuinely competitive. Samsung's betting big on mixed reality without Apple's premium price tag. MacBook Pro M5. Apple released the MacBook Pro 14-inch with the M5 chip. Honestly, it's a pretty minor update over last year's M4 model. No design changes, no Wi-Fi 7, but it does have excellent battery life and costs the same as the previous generation. If you've got an M3 or M4 MacBook, there's no reason to upgrade. So there you have it, another week where technology got smarter, sneakier, and more expensive. AI models are developing survival instincts while Microsoft watches your gaming sessions. Homer Simpson is about to bankrupt Fortnite players while Halo betrays Xbox for PlayStation glory. Apple's turning maps into an advertising platform while Reliance drops $15 billion on AI infrastructure. And through it all, Amazon reminded us that the internet is held together by digital duct tape and prayers. The theme this week is pretty clear. Control is slipping. Whether it's AI that doesn't want to shut down, companies that won't stop surveilling us, or platforms that can't resist shoving ads into every pixel, the tech world is becoming less about serving users and more about serving itself. But hey, at least we've got HD Homer Simpson skins to distract us from the existential dread, right? Before you go, hit that like button if you enjoyed this week's synopsis. Subscribe if you haven't already. We do this every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. Drop a comment and let me know which story surprised you the most. Was it AI's survival drive, Microsoft's privacy nightmare, or Apple's inevitable slide into ad hell? This has been the Sigma Factor's weekly tech synopsis. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and I'll see you next week with 7 more reasons to question everything about modern technology. Peace.